Oy, 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 oy. All right, good morning, everybody. It has been a late start today. That is for sure, with some stuff. Apologies for having to adjust the schedule. I changed it here on Twitch. I usually do that when I've got some sort of, adjustments to the schedule and things need to change. I know it's not the most perfect scenario right now to handle that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm working on a new Discord server, so hopefully the server will be up and running and look nice and pretty and all of that good stuff so that we can I can post stuff more easily there, right? So people, if we're all in the Discord, we're chatting about games, movies, we're trying to look at everybody's art, do all that kind of stuff. Um, but I'll also have some Twitch, info updates and stuff like that, so I can always let people know when I'm gonna be late. That said, it is already well past our time. We should be into drawing by our standard timeline, right? If it's 11:30, um, but we're not. So let's start. Yeah, cool. Anyway, good morning. It Not even gonna get into it. Just apologies that it's late. Psych, I'll talk about it. Um, no, I've got I'll talk about it later when I get to the drawing part. For now, since we are running late, less jibber jabber and more looking at cool things, right? So I am prepared, at least in that sense. Pulled up my five things. You know how I do, how we all do here. So I pulled up before. I really like just fun props, right? As a 3D artist myself, there's something really fun about just making hand painted props like this. They're satisfying. They look good. Usually one of the things I notice right off the bat with props, sometimes a little extra geometry. Nitpicky, talked about it before that my old lead would always be like, can we get it lower? Can we get it lower? Of course we can get it lower. And this looks like one that you definitely could probably get a wee bit lower, like, because like some of these details, but do they have to be visible or could they just be painted? Like these things here. Like this is a crap ton of geometry. Like 3,000 tries is a lot for a small prop. Depends on the game, obviously. But like in my mind, man, I keep hearing like a weird echo. My bad. Sorry. I don't know where that's coming from. Don't know. No clue where it's coming from. Doesn't matter. But no, most games, like unless you're gonna see that up close, you could probably just keep that as a baked texture. Like this would just be painted on. Even the angle she shows it isn't really like rotated too much. That this, yeah, 100%. If that was one of my, if I was the lead, I'd be like, nah, let's just nix this. If we can see what I'm talking about, like, because this detail here, completely barely noticeable, and yet that's a large chunk of the geometry there. You could easily just paint all that in and make it look just as cool. Anyway, still looks good though. Not to knock Natalia. I already clicked on the thing. I can't read the name now. Davidoya. Definitely looks like a work in the field for a year. Now I'm working on mobile games as a freelancer. Cool. Yeah, those are things that come with time, like learning. I know that took me a long time realizing how much you could really, especially when working with lower poly, things like that, like your brain wants to add more detail, right? Especially the younger you are, the earlier you are, you're like, I gotta make sure it's visible, gotta make sure you can see everything, right? But usually you can see everything if you just paint it in. If it's, unless it's like some AAA studio huge game, don't really need to keep all of that stuff. But these are cute. Oh, I like it. But yeah, solid work, Natalia. I like it. I like it. And away we go. So I got two 3D things today. I think too. I don't know. I love Hades. I just love this game. It's so good. And so I saw this. Somebody made a 3D sculpt of him, so I wanted to take a peek. Though I'll pull up the original just so I've got like a little bit of an image to compare because it's been a while since I've seen. I played the poop out of this game, but this was like a long time ago this game came out. Just for point of reference, kinda, to see. Dope. It's an interesting glow they've got. Like this weird, it almost looks like velvety, doesn't it? Because I think it's because this outline on everything. That looks clean though. Yeah, that outline looks dope though for the arm. That was smart actually. Now that I'm looking at it, for the arm especially. I don't know if it's as effective here. It's a little weird, but I like it. Yeah, looks like a clean interpretation to me. I like it. I like the way they changed the face shape a tiny bit. I feel like made it a little bit longer, but I think it works. I still look at it and I know who it is. But definitely a little bit longer face than in the game. I love that base. Looks really cool. Is it an actual model that they made? I absolutely love the Hades game. So sculpted Zagreus for whoever this person is. 3D printable. Okay. So that makes sense. So it was a design that they made in tiny itty bitty form. I like it. What else do you have? Alex Gray from Russia. Similar vibes. Very, very booby heavy. Not bad. Nothing jumps out though. I don't know about you guys. Like they look good, but nothing. I'm like, holy Stromboli, I want to take a peek. I do love some Harry Potter, so I can take a peek at this one for sure. That hair is fun. Yeah, I like that one. Go back up. I want to see that little wisp of hair. Swoop. Almost make this a little thicker though, because it feels like it's almost getting lost. It reminds me, so this little bit right here. Do we see that? That reminds me of Zach. Oh my gosh, who's the other neutrino? Oh my god, this guy. No, why am I blanking on this one? This is embarrassing. Dask. It's this toy. This is the toy. It reminds me of this because he had this plastic bit that went under his hair. And he had this giant waft of hair. And then a little bit went under. I still have the toy. I've got all my stuff. I think it's actually my profile picture on Mercari, buying and selling toys and stuff. So, but no, this little bit, for some reason, do we see how there's like, oh crap, my head's in the way. Bye. Oh wait, here, can I just, bye. This little wisp here. You see how it's like a thick one and then a thin one where it's like overlaid a little bit? 100% same energy, right? Totally same energy. Well, it reminds me of a Ninja Turtle thing, so it's a winner to me. That's funny. Okay. Enough, Alex Gray. I saw, oh, I lied. There was multiple 3D things. More 3D things today than normal. Okay. Finished a 3D model, a lot of fun. Decided to create a large model, blah, blah, blah. Mikhail Paluski. Always love a good environment. Do we have... Why is it not? Why is it being weird? Yeah, why is it's like not, it's loading in a little too big, like in the screen. Again, I'm a nerd and I like looking at the polys and seeing how small they made it, how efficient it is. I like it. Looks good. Okay, so good. So again, here's an instance where I'm talking about it, right? Like, I don't know, I guess it works. Like these edges, I don't think you get anything really out of it. Like all these little individual ones, right? You don't get too much out of it. Again, this is me just being strictly like a conservative, like the way I look at poly count, because it's a very tight economy. So usually the lower you can go, the better. So I just see like all of these panels, which look really cool, and you would sculpt them normally, but because the way we see them now, we don't really see it break too much, right? Like very rarely do you see it really actually changing the silhouette, even at all the different angles. So all I'm saying is that like because the normal map exists like this, right? So basically the normal map, for those that don't know, is basically like a way to, so like here, let's look at this wood. So they sculpted this wood in, right? Do you see the detail? But then the final render is just like that. But if we look at the actual wireframe, that detail's not there, right? There's no like sculpted in detail, and yet we see it all here. Because the normal map says this is basically like what we want it to look like inside still. So you're taking a flat image of a 3D piece. So you're basically taking that sculpted detail and slapping it on so that the light hits it still in a nice way. It'll still feel like it's there. Oh, there's a mess up here in the texture. But so I'm saying is you could do that same thing and you would just do it for all of these pieces because this is so much topology here. So much going on. Like, look at all that up here. Holy stromboli. Again, this is me just being nitpicky. If the game doesn't require you to have to make it lower, don't. Like, if the game can run it and you don't need to, engines more or less today don't need that as much. But depending on the assignment, I guess, it might behoove you to do it. That said, I really like this. This looks cool. I like the colors. Simple colors. I like the I like when it's something like this because it makes you wonder, right? Like, what are these? Like, if it just from an outsider looking in, you're like, wow, this is a whole house and little village thing, like a garage maybe, or like, what are these? Like, are these tusks from something? If this is the size of the people, are these teeth? Are these tusks? Are these horns of an actual creature that exists within this world to that scale? You know, if a little person is maybe this high. I like that kind of stuff. Stuff that makes you think more of the world itself is always well made. If it gets you thinking, I think it's a well done piece. Little cassette player. Okay. Just oh, this look like Sonic the Hedgehog energy for some reason to me. This is cute. That's a fun concept. It still reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if anybody else can see that, but it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway, good stuff, Mikhail Paluski. Oh, I like it. He looks, I can't, from that picture, he looks like he's like super little. Almost looks like one of the Costco kids. Okay, now finally 2D stuff. And Marvel Rivals-y stuff at that. Not really Marvel Rivals. Everything is Marvel Rivals if it's Marvel now, apparently. This is just a cool Wanda design. I like it. I always love a cool, like, coat. That seems silly, but, like, Street Fighter 6 Cammy. Outfit 3. Like, boom. Big old jacket. That does it. That does it. Looks so cool. Boom. One of my, like, Cammy's like Hornball City, right? With her butt always sticking, like, full out. And all that. And even her base outfit looks pretty clean with the Union Jack, like, crop toppy jacket. But this outfit 3 looks so cool, especially in motion when you've got a game that looks as good as Street Fighter 6. In motion, that trench coat looks really clean. But so, all that to say, I like a good trench coat on a female character like this. I think it's really neat. It gives more, like, extra oomph to what's usually, like, really slender, because, like, her legs are thin. But then that extra oomph looks pretty cool. And I like the pattern still used here on the back seam. And on her little, like, yeah, like, all over. I like this. What kind of stuff do they do? Figured more anime vibes for sure. Do they just as concept artist? This little cutie. Look at this little Tanuki. His head is so big for his body. Oh, that's good. This is a weapon, and it's an arm. Oh, that's cute. It's like a javelin, but of his own paw. Oh, there we go. So it's a Tanuki dressed up as a lucky cat fighting. I like that. I like that a lot. But wait, there's more kind of energy. What is going on here? I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's pretty busy. These remind me of Splatoon kids. But like more dark anime-ish Splatoon children. I don't know what they were called. Inklings? Squidlings? I don't know. Never really paid much attention. These are cute though. This is, I still like, I have to like keep like pulling back my eye to understand what's happening here. This is, like, I get it that there's a character here, and here, and like a demon thing, but that for some reason my eye has a hard time tracking all the pieces together. Individually, I like them. Oh, this is cute. These are for like a top-down arena looking game. I like it. Good stuff. KZ? KZ? I have no idea how you pronounce that, like usual. KZ. KZ. Good. And last but not least, gotta have it. When I see it, I cannot. We've talked about this. If I see Disney Lorcana, I'm gonna click on it. I don't care. I don't care I'm gonna click on it every time. Don't mind me. I just got too excited about Lorcana. Just coffee went down the wrong tube. Oh, that's what happens, folks. You get too excited for Disney. Holy cow. So sorry. So sorry. Oh my goodness. Jim Hawkins. What did you do to me? Oh my gosh. That's always the worst. Do I drink more to help get it down, or do I just commit and be watery-eyed weirdo for the next couple minutes? I'm going for it. Wrong call. Oh, super wrong call. Who told me to do that? That was dumb. Hopefully that what the insane coughing wasn't like caught on the mic too much. Sorry if you're deafened. Holy crap. Anyway, Disney Lorcana, am I right? Um, let's see what these are. It says that Jim and Sonic Warrior Ariel. Holy crap. That's a big card. That's cute. I like that. Yeah, I don't know. Disney Lorcana stuff just always gets me. I don't care. Every time I like it. I love the idea of all these Disney artists. Just like with Marvel Snap, like all these artists being able to make these such cool things and such like a break from what they are. It's not just that wasn't Ariel, right? That was a Sonic Warrior Ariel. She's like spouting out Sonic energy in the water with armor on. Like I don't even notice this gem. That was an old one. But a good one. I like this one. Wait, I want to see what else they do. Whenever I see someone who did Lorcana, I'm like, cool. Let's see what else you've done. None of these things are recognizable for me. What is this from? Portrait of... These are just personal work, it looks like. The Knight, the Arcanum, the Arcane, the Phantom, and the Hunter. Codex. Is this from an actual game or is this just his? I think this is just his idea, yeah. A personal thing. Dang, he got working on Lorcana? And what's the... I don't see any other... Where's... Oh, so this is something? I have the Codex Arcanum. Let's look it up. Codex Arcanum. No. The Balatro expansion, the game. And these are all random stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a personal project. I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad. I always am excited to see all the other professional work that they've done, you know? Like, let me see the other cool things. Here, Illustrator work. Let's see what else they've done here. Old Obsidian King. Cool. Overworked. Cute little game. All right, what are the Lorcana cards I did for Lorcana first chapter? Ooh, he did the Surfing Stitch. That was a cutie. For sure. And the Forceful Duelist, Captain Hook. That one was all over because they made, I think that was the one they had sleeves of. Oh, and that one with Jafar. That was fun. That was such a cool idea. Like, he has the energy of the Cave of Wonders, right? Like, it feels like Cave of Wonders. Similar vibes, similar colors. But it's Jafar, Keeper of Secrets. Oh. And then, of course, Hercules. Cannot go wrong with Herc, my boy. Where's this piece from? The cover art up here. I want to see that. Is it this? Is it? No. Where's this? This looks cool. Gimme. Is this it? Okay. I like that. Okay, back to Disney, right? Do we have more? No more Disney. That's all they've done. All they've done. 7 cool cards. What other pro work do we got? This is adorable. What is this muscle gingerbread? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I love this. I love Christmas stuff. Like Christmas is like the best visual. Like I love summer. I love fall. I love spring. But like when Christmas wintertime, there's something just so I think it spawns from when you're younger, right? There's this sense of wonder that exists in Christmas that doesn't quite persist throughout the year. But something about Christmas just has, like I said, that magic, right? And I feel like that just becomes like a core part of how we view Christmas and how we view the winter time and these warm scenes like this, that it just feels good and it evokes that emotion from when we were kids that just feels fantastical yet real almost. But anyway, this 100%. I play Marvel Rivals way too much. And that's like the main game I play with my friends now, but we used to always play Fortnite. And so we still pop in and play regularly. These though, this new Fortnite skin, I want it. I absolutely want it. I'm gonna send this. Actually, I'm not even here. No, I'm just gonna copy the link. And don't mind me. I'm gonna literally send it. I have to send this to friends right now. But it's too good. Absolutely too good. Got to. Sorry. I'm gonna forget about it. I gotta send it. Too good. I want that buff gingerbread man. Gimme him. Gimme him, gimme him, gimme him. Anyway, Marcel, very cool stuff, Marcel Berg. I really like it. These are really cool pieces. I like the soft way that they paint. Right? Pretty smooth, pretty soft stuff. I love, oh, more of this little winter magic. Oh my. It just hits on a different level for me. But yeah. Very different than my like heavy-handed crazy inking. Again, one day we'll practice style like this too, right? Like this. The Lorcana style essentially, right? Where we've got that like very soft, very colored outline. And it's not just these. I feel like generally their design motifs are predicated on like a lot of their backgrounds don't mess with line work, right? If we're looking here, no line work on the backgrounds at all. Every bit of the background and for like, anything like that, just very organic, and the characters are what have some sort of outline to them. This is cool that the outline, he clearly has like a nice gradient going on the outline itself. Again, one day that'll be the challenge. Right now, I'm gonna keep inking thick and heavy, like a person whose pen is just about to explode and I need to get all the ink out as possible. But I do like this stuff. Disney Lorcana, man. I wish I could click like what other new Lorcana stuff. We're already looking. We're already late today. Our timeline is all bork, so we're just looking at Lorcana. Leave me alone. Sort by latest. Let's see some new Lorcana. Oh, some of these are not official Lorcana. That's fine. But I want to see the official Lorcana card. Please. I lied. Oh my gosh. Magica Dispel. Gimme. Okay, we're just gonna look at these three real quick, just because I wanted to, and I got on a tangent now thinking of Lorcana. Magica Dispel. Love the character. Such a cool character. Huge excuse me. Man, that coffee down the wrong tube is still just wreaking havoc on my body. No, DuckTales. Woo. I loved Magic Dispel as a kid. Such a fun villain. And seeing her in this way looks real good. I like it. Gonzalo Kenny. Oh, this is a real big rabbit hole then, right? If I'm going to start looking at... Oh, no. What have I done? Oh, my gosh. This was... F this card, man. This was a... Oh, my gosh. I can't remember the rarity. How do these... I can't remember the rarity. It's like the rare one, right? A good one, like the gold. So it's not like the rarest. But anyway, I remember I got 2 of these and I hated this card. And I was like, this is the one I get. I keep getting the trumpeter. Not saying it's an ugly card from a functional perspective. It's not a good card. I didn't like it. And I kept getting it. Ooh, I like that they did a lot of these Inkland ones. Because the vibe still feels very similar between them all. I love it. Okay, I'm not going to look too much at these because I'll keep getting way too distracted. Oh, did they do stuff with the actual... Ooh, with the cinematic trailer. Oh, they did the giant splash art piece. Oh, they did most of these pieces that were then splined. Oh, this isn't a single person. This is a studio. That makes sense. Yeah, they've done a lot of stuff. The studio, who I already follow, so not surprising. All right, one more. Taffeta. Adorable. This is what we came here for, though. Our Prince John. Okay, what else do we got? Coney. Wait, what? I am... This is the same piece we just saw from the other person. They stealing work? Somebody stealing work here? That's not cool. Or is this team? This says team. Okay. Never mind. Proud of us. It's a whole thing. That makes sense. No theft. Don't worry. Teamwork makes the dream work. The first artist didn't have that information on it, so it threw me off. Ooh, wow. They've leveled up their game in the past 4 years. This is not a Hades I would like to see on a Lorcana card. But man, yeah, talk about watching them grow. Like 7 years ago. Not bad by any means. But you can see like 7 years to whatever this guy is. Khalid. Way better with their painting, right? Way better. And also way more confident in their lines, you can tell. And then to like stuff like this. Come on. These are good. This makes me want to do more of this kind of stuff so bad. You know how cool it would be to have had a Lorcana card? Real freaking cool. Lorcana or Marvel Snap? Man, that would be amazing. Let's follow them. I want to see more of their stuff. I want to see more Lorcana. More gross Witcher vibed monsters, you know. You know how it be. I like it. Okay, cool. Let's put on some music, shall we? It's a little bit quiet up in here. As usual, just popping on some, I've been cruising through all these different video game lo-fi. So I've never been a fan of like lo-fi music. I never really paid 2 minds to it, really. Not that I wasn't a fan. I just never really listened. So you can't be against something that you don't understand. But I just never really did. And holy crap, I love it now. I can't get enough of it. Like, some of this stuff just hits. Like, I've been listening to just like video game lo-fi stuff. There was this one artist, who was it? Mikkel. I'm gonna pull them up here. Let's look at this real quick. Like, go to, where's the artist itself? This is, okay. The albums here, like, they've got so many. I was listening to Middle Earth and Chill. Oh my gosh. Like, golden. Absolutely golden. For those of you listening to the VOD later, sorry. Go look this up, Mikkel. I know you don't have audio, but trust me, it's chill. And if you like that good old Lord of the Rings, this hits. But then a bunch of video game things and other things of the sort, which are just, yeah, 10 out of 10s. Let's do Zelda chill, though, yeah? For now. Zelda and chill. Let's play it. I haven't listened to this one yet, actually, so this will be new for me. Can you guys even hear that? Here, let me crank it up. Let me crank it to 11. It seems a little loud, no? Let's turn it down a little for everybody. That seems good, right? If it's not good, I'm sure someone could tell me. I don't want it too loud like usual. just want a background. But okay, so let's get to drawing, shall we? So here's the problem. Here's one of the many reasons why today was a late start, to say the least. This month, this year, let's just say it's been a different year for me so far. It's just a lot of different things going on, and it's been an adjustment. So everything's been kind of off. And last night, I really just wanted to make time. After my girlfriend went to bed, I was like, I just want to play some Marvel Rivals. I played a little bit on like Friday or Saturday. Got my butt handed to me. Deranked like crazy. Absolutely embarrassing. Like horribly so. I don't know what was going on. I got in my own head about other personal matters that were happening, and I couldn't really concentrate on the game. And that obviously did not help. That said, I wanted to play last night, and in my head I was like, okay, I'll bring my iPad up, and then in between rounds I'll sketch a couple things, right? Guess what never happens? Oh, somebody's dropping off a package. Sorry, I got thrown off. Whenever I hear or see somebody in my driveway, I'm always thrown off, especially when it's just like a normal car. And when I didn't order anything. Oh, psych, it's our neighbors. They just pick something up. Never mind. That's funny. So, fun story. We live on a road that has court in the name, and they live on the same street as us. Same street, same exact street. But theirs is drive. Same exact address, same everything. What city planner? What dingus? Who did that? Some idiot. Anyway, a lot of times when we get stuff delivered, it goes to the wrong house then, and vice versa. We've had a lot of times that have happened. One time was literally pizza. We had people over, and we had like 4 pizzas delivered, and we're like, where the hell's our pizza? And then he texted us, he's like, oh, hey, crap, I took these pizzas. I'm like, how did you take the pizza? Didn't you know that, like, obviously that wasn't yours? He's like, I thought my wife bought them, and I don't know, I wasn't thinking. I was like, man, it's them and like 1 or 2 like toddlers. I was like, how much pizza you guys order that you see that much pizza? This was like for an entire family get together here at our house. And I was like, man, what do you guys normally eat? But anyway, what a lot of times we'll do is we'll just message each other like, hey, I need to pick this up. You know, this got dropped off, blah, 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 blah. And we go that way. But sometimes if it's something that like, if you saw it was delivered, you just run over to the house real quick. And so they've done that before. I've done that before. And so that's what it was. Actually, I didn't realize it was him. Just picking up a random package. But it is funny. There's been times where they'll deliver stuff to their house. And let's say it was in the mailbox or something, right? And I'm not going to go in their mailbox. And so I'll message like, hey, did you guys end up getting that? And usually it's like, oh yeah. And since they've got kids, it's always like, oh, don't worry about bringing it over. I'll go get it. Like, not a big deal. If I'm going to the gym that night, if I'm going for a walk later, I'll just pick it up. Well, there's been a handful of times where I'm like, oh, I'll just pick it up on my way to the gym tonight. Keep in mind, I go to the gym around 8. So it's dark here in wintertime in Chicago. And sometimes I'll pick it up on the way home then, which is like 9:30, maybe, depending, closer to 10, who knows. And it's always hilarious because I feel like I'm stealing. I like run up their porch. I drive up, don't even pull in the driveway because I don't want to be like the bright lights and stuff. I park on the side of their house, jump out of my car, run up. They leave it usually like hidden behind something. And I pick up a package hidden behind like one of their pillars or chairs. And then I just scurry back to my car and drive away. And I'm like, if neighbors are watching, I want to be like, I swear I'm not stealing this. I promise. It was UPS that effed up, not me. Please. But anyway, I digress. So before we get drawing, this is where I'm getting at, though, that I had some hurdles. So I had been drawing Psylocke, right, on stream. I think she's looking good. She's almost done, frankly. There's a couple little details I want to do to her painting. And then I want to add her blade on her hand to make it look like there's a reason this glow is existing. But I think she's looking good. I don't want to overwork her. And I feel like normally when I'm on stream, I noodle and I fudge with stuff too much, right? I think we got the gist. We did enough of Psylocke over the last week, right? So I don't want to do more. I think she looks good. I think her line work is clean. I'm happy with it. I think the paint is fine. It's not like anything to write home about, but it sells the image pretty well. And I didn't mind this technique. I found a few things I want to change as I move forward. But overall, I don't mind this way of painting. I think it looks good. And I kind of like it contrasting my like thick, dark lines. I think this is a cool style that vibes. And I think it reads well with a lot of things. So I'm probably going to play with this a little more. I will maybe stick with this. Like, so on her, I was doing more sketchy kind of vibes, right? I think I'll stick with that still. And I'll finish her again, maybe on stream, maybe off stream at some point. I do like this. Monster Hunter comes out 28th, right? So I need to get this done before Monster Hunter, right? When does Monster Hunter come out? Let me look that up because that'll dictate what I get done in the future. Monster Hunter, was it not Wilds? World? Is World the game? The new one? No, World was the new old one. Wild? Is Wild the new one? Wild, yeah. February 28th. What is today? It is the 17th. So that means it's not this Friday, but okay. I've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks to do her, to finish her up. I'll do that then. That's a good mental note that I need to get her done within two-ish weeks, obviously. A little variable. But I want to have her done before or just ready for Monster Hunter so I can post her on as like a nice little celebration for Monster Hunter coming out. That said, I'm pretty much on Psylocke. Don't want to work on her more. Same with like something like this, like Malice, almost done. I've got a handful of more stuff I want to get done with her, but then I'll get her out. But I'm going to post her when I post the video that I'm finally going to have done soon, hopefully. I just have not had time. Anyway, back to what I was horribly distracted about. So last night, I finished Rivals, played fine myself, but not great enough. Deranked like crazy, very upset, annoyed, you know, the usual gamut of ranked video game play, right? However, I was like, well, crap, I barely got to sketch in between playing. I always say I will, but like Marvel Rivals, it's bumping. The second you play a match and you're done, you're into another match. Like, it's quick as hell. So, oh my gosh, excuse me, my nose is all stuffed up today. So I was like, well, I need to get something sketched out because I don't like doing like starting from nothing on stream. I have a hard time with that unless I'm doing it with a goal in mind, right? Like if I have an idea that I'm going to study, right? Those studies go fine. But the first stage sometimes of me just noodling, trying to figure out what the hell I'm drawing, I don't like doing that on stream too much. So anyway, I stayed up way too late because I got in my own head and nothing was working. Sometimes you just keep hitting your head against a wall and you should just call it quits, but then you get in your own head and you keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. It's a vicious cycle, not just art related. I'm sure we all do that in many capacities. But so I didn't finish anything that I wanted to get done on this stupid thing. But I do have like a handful of different sketches that I can show you of my failures. Where I basically had this original drawing that I did, right? This guy, this sprinting kind of running energy. And I said, I like this energy that I did, right? I like the energy. I don't want the pose, but I want that energy in a Squirrel Girl pose, right? Jumping, lunging forward, like one foot, one hand, kind of like going towards the viewer, right? I liked that. So I said, let's play with it. And somehow that came out because I wanted to make it like this. I felt like I didn't like the chest area and I didn't really understand how to do that with a slingshot, right? Her hands are too far apart. Her other arm, if it were bent in then, would start looking ugly. So here, I'm going to put a layer up top here that I can just draw on as I complain and talk about my random problems with this. Is this big enough? Nope. Let's make it a little different. Let's give it a fill brush. Cool. So my problem with this one though is like this area, right? Her chest and her arms here, I didn't want to draw that. That looked like messy and awkward. And it's not like, it didn't feel right. This pose felt off anyway. And so I didn't know how to like make this arm bent in a proper way that would hold a slingshot, right? Based off of this pose. So I said, okay, let me just play with it and kind of mess with it some more. So I didn't like it. And I said, what if we make her facing the other direction then, right? Like kind of like open. But then I was like, okay, well, if I do that, where the hell is her slingshot, right? She can't, and the pose doesn't look right? Because if we're looking here, this doesn't really flow. This is like a weird wiggly curve, right? I don't like this. It didn't, I don't know. This curve was okay. It just didn't feel right. And I'm sure if I sat here and noodled now, when I'm not half asleep and frustrated from losing in Marvel Rivals and needing to go to sleep, already I'm looking at how I could fix this pose, right? Immediately. Like this would be a lot easier to do. However, in fixing the pose, I still don't quite know how I would make it a slingshot. Like where a slingshot would live in this type of energy. So even if we were to cut, right, and do something like this still, how do you rock a slingshot with something like this, you know? But already, I think this goes to show that, like, hey, you should probably just stop when you're really struggling. Because right there, that looks better already than what I had. But yeah, I don't, like, if someone's got an idea, let me know. But, like, I don't know where you do a slingshot with this. This is just her, like, diving and jumping, which looks fine. But that's not a very Squirrel Girl slingshotty energy, right, that I was going for. I just really like this like intense run, right? I wanted to capture that somehow. And so as I played with it, yeah, that doesn't look too bad then if I were to do something like that. Excuse me. Yeah, the crotch region looked weird, but now if I fixed it. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not using that pose either. Right, so instead, I kept noodling, and I said, what if she's like diving, right? Like just lurching forward with that big step. And I liked this one too. I did. However, I had a hard time mentally grasping. I'm sorry, my nose is so stuffed up today. Mentally grasping how this curve would work. So I guess now's a good time as any to kind of play with these since I'm on stream and usually do better when I'm awake. and not bummed about video game losses. But so like this guy, I think the problem is I didn't know how to orient her body so that her legs made sense, right? So that still doesn't make sense to me. So her chest would be there. Her arm, her arm is like coming out towards us, right? And then her hip would be here. So if this hip is higher with the butt, see, it's still like this pose just doesn't super make sense to me still, even as I'm trying to make heads or squirrel girl tails of it right now. She's got like a thicker waist though, like in hips, which is what I wanted to kind of really accentuate, which is why I kept doing these like leg centric thicker poses, right? But anyway, so I guess something like this could work. It's again that problem though where this chest region, I'm not 100%. I feel like you just couldn't really see the breasts then, and that's fine. But then her face would be like deeper down, looking down, maybe. And then shoulder, arm, forearm. Hand. This hand going down like this, so her thumb would be like not even visible, right? Yeah, you wouldn't even see the thumb from this angle because she'd be cocked backwards. Something like that actually isn't terrible. I kind of like this pose now that I'm messing with it more. Maybe we'll mess with this pose a little bit. We'll see. We'll come back to it. I'm just readdressing all of these problems I had, and we're seeing what works, what doesn't. Nose today. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that pose is okay, but it still wasn't working. So I tried to redo it, and this just looks like doo-doo water. I didn't even know what this was. I don't even want to look at this one. It's ugly. Nothing is right with this pose. So like if I were to fix it now with like a clear mind, I would look at it and say the curve would have to be more flowy, right? Simplify this curve and then counter it with this curve. That leg is way too long for some reason. And then let's fix it with a foot coming this way. We can give like her butt there a little bit. Her hip would come up like that, right? Her torso's like a twist here. So really the ribs would be like up there. Her shoulder, if we want it to be like that. We don't need to draw a tricep, but just for our sake of visually seeing the orientation there, we can put little elbow and tricep in just so we can kind of see what we're looking at. If anything, that should actually be lurched, right? So if her body's twisting, her arm would be kind of twisting too, right? So her back would go like this, and then her other side of her back would be twisted. And so really, her body with her breasts this way would be super turned about, right? Super duper twisted. And then shoulder here, arm kind of cocked back, forearm looking over the spot. Pulling that, her head would have to be probably like that, around-ish, right? Ish is good. I like how I said, I don't want to sketch on stream. Proceeds to sketch on stream. But I think this is an interesting way to look at it. Like, hey, look at all these things I messed up and how I couldn't do it right. And my brain was broken. Now, with a clear mind, let's draw over it and see what I was trying to do. Like, what my brain was trying to do, but I was too tired and in my own head to actually draw. And I've talked about it before. Sometimes you just need to step away from a thing. And so this is a prime example of stepping away from the thing helps my brain be like, oh, yeah, this makes a lot more sense now, right? Don't mind me just banning spam. You know how it be. Oh, spammy lammy ding dongs. Anyway, it's 12:30. As I'm can't even breathe out my nose right now for some reason. Maybe chocolate will help it, right? Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I'm willing to gamble and find out. So we went to the store the day after, I was gonna say Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, and we eat our Dove chocolates, right? Our little chocolates. And I never wanted to get the holiday ones because they're usually overpriced, right? The Valentine's Day ones are just more expensive just because they can be. Except the day after Valentine's Day when everything is clearanced. So now we got 2 bags. Wish we got more because it's a consistent thing we eat. Of little hearts. Little Dove hearts. Same things, just like a little smaller technically. But not by much. Same exact chocolate. But anyway. So, I guess this pose would work too. Now that I'm kind of feel like she'd have like a sideways hand though, right? The way I drew it doesn't make sense to me. I don't think you'd really see the thumb at all. Right? Because the thumb would be like right there. Yeah, you wouldn't really see thumb. I was going to look up a picture of what her actual slingshot looks like at some point. And then I'll pull up her Marvel Rivals outfit, of course, like we do. But for now, since we're just hammering out like the pose and the energy, I just have this random page up of kids with slingshots, basically. Thinking that will help me. Yeah, this angle is not right, because if it's a sideways slingshot, right, it would be like this. And we'd barely even see this one, right? That makes more sense. And by this one, I mean like the back, like, you know, if it's a Y shape, the one facing away from us, I was making it too prominent. You wouldn't really see it at this angle. But anyway, so yeah, that pose could work too. Now that I'm playing with it a bit more. Her back looks beefy as hell. So that could work. And then her big old tail. I actually don't know what Squirrel Girl's tail looks like. I'm assuming I just kept blocking it and it was like a big old fluffy squirrel tail, right? I don't know. Does that look right? Squirrel. Oh my gosh, my mug. I didn't even think of it. I grabbed To Infinity and Beyond, right? My Buzz Lightyear one. I should have grabbed the one with Doug that says squirrel. What a fool. I could have been on point, on theme, on brand. Idiot. Next time, I'll probably draw Still be drawing Squirrel Girl Wednesday, so I'll do it then. Gotta make sure it's clean for Wednesday. Okay, so again, this pose isn't the worst. A lot of these are working now that I'm reinventing them, if you will, right? Like, these all have energy that I kind of like in different ways. So, as always, is redoing garbage. This one, I have no clue what I was trying to do with this one. I was trying to think of like, what if it's like weird perspective, right? I don't think this doesn't read. This doesn't look good. I don't know how I even fix this one. Oh crap. I'm at a loss on this one. This one was just straight up bad. Like straight doo-doo water. Because where do you put arms for a slingshot on this one at all? So I think the problem here, let's make this thin for a sec as we draw. It's like the problem here is her perspective needs to be like completely readdressed. So like the perspective here, picturing it like a cone, right? Let's kind of visually see what we're working with here, because then if we're picturing two cones, right, for simplicity's sake, but two twist like counterposto, right? We talked about that contrapposto. If let's say this is going this way a little bit, let's make up here go this way a little bit. So then let's say something like this, maybe. Let's reassess this weird pose. Can we fix it, right? Can we Bob the Builder this crap? Or is it a lost cause? So this is, again, we're just giving a couple minutes each time just to kind of revibe with it, right? See if I can make something out of this garbage nothing that I had previously. And if we can't, that's fine. I don't really care. These were throwaway sketches anyway. So let's try and see if we can kind of do something. What that something would be, though, again, I don't know what her arms would be doing in a pose like this. Would they just be like up? Like one's holding a slingshot, kind of. What's her right would be here. So let's just say she's holding it like this. And then can she be like... Would this arm be behind maybe then? Like the standard fist energy. So she's not actively using the slingshot, like shooting it. This curve feels like it should be a little stronger this way then. Not really knowing what Squirrel Girl looks like in my head is not helping my case either. I don't know the character too well. Not that you need to for this preliminary stage, but it helps my own brain sometimes when I, like, I don't know, just have a better visual of what you're drawing, you know? And since I didn't look up a picture of Squirrel Girl while doing this, I'm probably not helping my case. Such a weird angle. I don't know what I was. This is what happens at 3 a.m. when your brain just is like, what if we try this now? Sure, buddy. Sure. I'm like just doing a weird little bit of underwear here just so it like makes sense what I'm looking at for a second. And by underwear here on the breast, I'm just saying like a little bit of, I don't even know what you'd call these at this point. Just something to kind of visually make some sense of this garbage pile. So if our leg's coming at us, right, I really want this to feel, that angle here to be really strong then. So like the crotch line would be a little bit more curved this way, whereas this one, let's say, would be going down. Can we fix it, folks? I don't know. Is this unsalvageable? I feel like it is. This is just such a weird leg. I clearly wanted, when I was drawing this, the foot to be like your face. For some reason. There's a foot in your face for some reason. So I kind of backed myself into a corner here with these curves. So let's try and reassess. So what I had before was this was a curve this way, which kind of means you want this to curve this way. But that doesn't super read. So I'm going to see if I can curve this one instead. Give this more of a straight, curve the quad so it feels like it's more like hyper, like actually like flexed, right? And straight, because when you straighten your leg, your quadriceps do flex, right? So let's see if that makes sense. So that then we can actually like counter this, right? This noodle curve with at least a little bit of calf this way. And then she's just, that's a long, long leg, am I right? Weird. As usual, erase it, cut it, grab it, pull it, bop it, twist it, you know? Excuse me. I don't know what her shoes look like. So I'm just blocking in like a weird shape. Again, when you draw stuff like this, I'm just trying to draw the thing, not the character. Oops. Not the thing who will be in Marvel Rivals this week, but actually Squirrel Girl. I'm nervous. So I play tanks, right? Vanguards, as they're called in Marvel Rivals. I generally play tanks and support. I'll play DPS, which is like the damage dealers. I like them. I love playing DPS. However, everybody and their mother is like, I can play DPS because it's like the most standard. Like, one, they're the most iconic characters. Their moves are pretty clean. And it's just like your job is more advanced, but most people just are like, I just do damage and get kills. It's like, okay, well, there's a lot more to it. But anyway, so finding the ability to find a role where you can play DPS is very slim in most ranked matches. But anyway, so I normally do tank. Usually the higher up you get strategists, the healers, the supports, they're pretty common. Like, so I don't need to like usually there's plenty of people who will play supports in the higher ranks, but it's the opposite in the lower ranks. But that said, I always played support at first, right? Especially lower ranks because it was easier because no one else played supports. So I would play Mantis or Loki. Loved them both, right? Great characters. Loki in the current meta is only as useful as his other healers though, like because he can steal the ults. And so if you're playing and you have like a rocket raccoon and you're dual healing with just a rocket, that's not good. You need what are like these like completely damage mitigating ults, which would be like Cloak and Daggers or Luna Snows or Invisible Woman's. But anyway, I digress. Invisible Woman came out, and suddenly, in the lower ranks, especially even, everybody wanted to play support. They wanted to see that invisible booty, you know? Can't blame them. That Malice skin was clean, right? But it was like, damn, y'all playing support now, but you can't play support. Like, you guys are not very good at it. You don't know the role. You're just playing the character, which, again, quick play, who cares? Not a big deal. But it threw me off. But I'm worried that now, when Ben comes out, right, the thing, everybody's going to be like, look, I'm a tank now. And I'm like, oh no. Because a tank is a very specific role that if you're not playing it properly, you kind of dictate the flow of the whole team. And so if you're not tanking in a good way, it is frustrating. So I am curious to see if all of a sudden I can't play tank anymore in ranked because everyone's like, look, I'm the thing. It's clobbering time. And I'm like, no, it's tank time. Let me do it. Okay? Tanks. But yeah. Either way, he comes out with Johnny Storm. I'm curious if he'll have... So there's only a couple characters who can fly. Like, legitimately fly. And, like, the main two are Storm and Iron Man. However, for some godforsaken reason, Iron Fist can fly, essentially, which is a whole problem in its own right. It's really, really lame. The defender of Kunlun is a weirdo in this game. But he can weirdly fly for some reason. Don't ask me why. That said, I'm curious if Johnny now... Yeah, I don't think this pose is salvageable. Like, just saying. I'm just pointing that out. As I'm trying to salvage it, I think we're at a point of no return. I'm getting rid of this weird underwear thing because it's not helping me visualize anymore. But yeah, I'm curious what if Johnny... I'm assuming the Human Torch will have actual flight. You know what I mean? Like more of Storm or Iron Man, because that's what he does. But I'm curious to see if it's handled any differently than the other flyers or what. Because realistically, flying characters are a pain sometimes because you just, unless you're rocking hit scan, which means like hit scan is a type of mechanic in shooting games where basically like there's projectile or there's hit scan, right? Hit scan means when I shoot, it hits where I shoot, right? Like immediately. There's no travel. There's no lag time. There's, hit scan meaning it scans where I'm hitting on looking. Hit scan, right? Projectile is just what it sounds like too, and it is an actual projectile. So characters with actual projectiles that move in space and have a duration of time are a little harder than to hit flying characters who can zip around the map and be harder to hit, right? There's only a couple hit scan characters, and that being like Bucky, the Winter Soldier, or Punisher. And so if you're not playing a character with hit scan on your comp with the DPS side, it's rough. It is very rough trying to fight any of the flying characters then if you don't have a person who can hit them in the air efficiently, right? Certain characters like Thor, I can knock people out of the air as Thor, which is always fun. Or the Hulk, right? The Hulk can actually just pummel them, right? He just dives in the air and grabs them and does his thing. But like, not every instance is okay with that. But either way, all I'm getting at is I'm curious to see how they will play, because so far they've been killing it, right? Like everything vibes, everything's good, like I'm curious how they're gonna continue knocking it out of the park. I just hope I can still play tanks without too much difficulty. I'm curious to see how good Ben will be. I was trying to think of what kind of character he'd be, right? Ben, he is most likely going to be a Vanguard, like I said, a tank, which just makes sense. He's big, he's burly, he's a bruiser, right? There's a handful of different type of tanks in the game, though. You've got like dive tanks like Venom, right? So his goal is literally diving in and wreaking havoc, right? So if you're wreaking havoc, that's one thing. And then you've got characters like Thor, right? Thor would be more of like a brawler tank, right? Because he's getting in, getting out, but also just kind of like holding the front line a little bit, diving back line. He brawls quite literally. He's there to wreak havoc in terms of just beating on everybody. But then you've got like Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange is a more traditional tank in that he's got his shield and stuff like that. And then you've got like the heaviest of anchor tanks with Magneto who can bubble people and do these things. So there's like different types of tanks, right? And I don't know what Ben would be because he's got such like his abilities in the comics have never like excited me too much because he's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's like the Hulk because he's not necessarily like the Hulk, but it's the energy in that like, yeah, you're a big strong guy, right? But big strong guy Hulk at least has like his gamma claps and stuff like that, or things he can play with. Whereas Ben is like, I'm big and rocky and strong. But so I didn't have the idea. I was talking about like the ability of like how Groot can make walls, right? So Groot has the ability to construct walls, and my girlfriend actually had a really really cool idea that I had not thought of that I think would be an interesting mechanic. Instead of Groot who can place walls like behind people, right? So he can use his walls both offensively and defensively pretty nicely. But his is interesting because he places the walls at a decent clip away from him, right? He doesn't need to be right there. He can put it behind characters that are in front of him. So he can kind of yeet them in the distance pretty well. Obviously there's within reason, within range, but pretty good at just kind of hitting them around. Whereas she came up with the idea, what if Ben, right? What if the Thing has a similar mechanic, but instead of, sorry, this is looking weird. Instead of placing a wall at a distance, what if his walls are stronger, right? Like way stronger of a wall, but they appear when he punches the ground, right? Like he does like a ground pound or something that erupts gravel, landmass, whatever it might be, up into the air and makes a shield that way. So he'd be a like very like different playstyle from Groot, but maybe he could be like a hybrid, right? Like maybe he's got like immediate wall crunch abilities like that, but like up close. But then maybe he's a little more brawlery like Thor then, where he can still, clobber in time and get some punches in. But I don't know. I think as soon as she said that, I was like, that's golden, right? Like that's a cool idea. And now it's unfortunate when you have ideas and you talk about, you theory craft and you come up with this stuff. Because then when reality hits, sometimes you're like, well, damn, I wanted what I came up with in my head, not what they gave us. Like, so in my mind, that's what it needs to be. But we'll see. In just a couple days, right? It's Friday that it happens. So we shall see soon enough. So what I'm doing here was accentuating the squash and stretch of this pose, right? So the squash here is pretty squashed for sure, but the stretch didn't really stretch too much, so it didn't feel like it paid off. Like the squash, and you kind of need a really long stretch, like we've talked about, like this, for it to make the squish better, right? We talk about like our bean, our sandbag, right? Kind of have to emulate that. I don't know. I'm weirdly determined because this is such a dumb pose that I came up with. I'm determined to make it work. Whether this is efficient use of our time or not, I don't know. But I'm gonna do it anyway. But yeah, so we'll see. Fortnite stuff comes out. Rival stuff, but then oddly enough, Fortnite stuff comes out the same time. Right? What the hell is that about? Rude. Also, I totally forgot. I keep forgetting to do this. Oops, I never post on Blue Sky. I need to do this more. So let's do that. Let's delete this Valentine's post or real quick and just say, hey, sketching some Squirrel Girl. Come hang out. And then, again, the keyboard is like weirdly away from me. Apologies. Let's do, I don't know, what are some hashtags for this? Squirrel Girl. Squirrel. Squirrel Girl. Marvel. It's weird because Blue Sky actually uses hashtags now. Marvel. Ooh, I can't type. Cool. Sounds good. I forgot to do the comic one. There's like a comic sky or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I did it. So now at least I feel better. Even though I did it, you know, an hour and a half too late and we're already going to be nearing our end of stream. That is fine. Anyway, all I'm saying with this pose is it's stupid, but I'm going to make it work. So come at me. This is determination at its finest, or stupidity at its finest. I guess we'll figure that out together when in the next like 15 minutes when I'm just like, I'm so done. This isn't even Squirrel Girl. What a waste. The beauty of this though is if I'm coming up with all these poses right now and they actually work, I can probably kind of salvage them into something else later, right? Just because I'm making them with Squirrel Girl in mind doesn't mean I can't maybe do something else with this later, right? Like, why does she just have to be holding, you know, this could be a sword, right? This is not, this pose in particular doesn't even feel very Squirrel Girly in my mind. So worst case scenario, even if we get stuff to work and we don't use them today, then I've got it like in my library of things that we can just pull from, seeing as sometimes I just want to start drawing on stream rather than fiddle. Like today. This is a fiddler on a Monday if I've ever seen one. Which doesn't help that Mondays usually, like I've said, are rougher on my end. But okay. So let's say the ribs are like this. They're crunching this way. Her shoulders are going to be real twisted, right? So her ribs are going to be like this. Real twisty. Her shoulder would be down here, cutting down this way. And the other shoulder would be coming up that way. I have no idea how these breasts would look like at all, because this is like a super weird angle and pose. So I've got no clue. Those look weird. Those look like pancakes, like giant old pancake boobies. Not attractive. So squished here with her shoulder this way. Let's simplify this space though, because it's getting messy, right? So let's say it's just like a lot of squish. And then like the lat goes this way. The shoulder will be where we don't even see it, right? Not much at all. So I feel like this is a prime example of where we talked about having like the breast like mirror maybe the lat shape, but I'm not quite sure if it's. Does that make sense? It looks a little. It's weird because the perspective here is really, really borking my brain. I don't like this arm. I say screw it. This is not even that cool of a pose that I'm so committed to making this work. Why do I do the things I do? That boob looks weird. I think the arm needs to be forward. Holy crap, that's ugly. What did I do? What am I doing? Call the booby police because I don't know what I'm drawing. Is that a thing? It just looks stumpy. Like no matter what pose I do is like a weird, like a toothpaste tube. Like not like she's not like twisting in space, right? It feels very unorganic. Inorganic. Is that the word? Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. She's got little ears, right? Little squirrel ears. I don't know what that is. I'm just blocking stuff in just to kind of help sell my picture in my head right now of what the hell is happening. Okay, so where is shoulder then? Nope. Whoa, that eraser's huge. So the irony of all of this, as I'm like messing with all of these poses, right? I had one at the end that I thought looked fine, but I'm just not doing that because I can. I don't know where the arm would go in this instance because it's like really. They like to sell this other arm going up. This chest needs to be kind of curved a little more backwards. We put both arms up. Does that help solve this weird issue we're having? Nope. Maybe. Because then that line is more fun. I don't know, man. Weird too. I don't know. I just don't know what to do with our arms. I've kind of solved the one main part of the pose now, but the arms now just don't make sense still. Okay. Let's be done with this one in just a couple minutes because this is just wasting just dead air. I'm not able to talk. My brain just kind of fried trying to figure out how to solve this, which is the whole point that I didn't want to draw anything like this on stream, which is why I stayed up so late. Oh well. I still think this solved the overall, like this pose was effing bad. Like real bad. Do I know what's going on with her arm still? Absolutely not. But is the energy still kind of there? Like this playful, like jumpy? Yes. I wonder actually if this leg should be. I think that's what's probably causing it too. This leg feels like it should be more like this. So we can see. And then we'd see actually backwards like this still, right? We would see the foot like that. Yeah, I think that looks better. The angle of her other leg was not really making sense. But if we pull it back like the other poses kind of, almost even less than the other poses. Like we don't even see. Let's not even see calf, right? We'll just see foot kind of. Like that's how. That looks dumb. But we'll maybe see a little. But yeah, instead of going left or right, like we always talk about, if the options you've presented yourself with aren't working, try one you didn't even give yourself, right? And that kind of works. So instead of trying to go a little behind one way or the other, I just went straight down with the leg then. And I think that makes more sense from the perspective we would see it. Cool. Waste of time. Man, talk about a waste of time there's something I can talk about while we're just sitting here as I'm just noodling through this stupid piece. Um, so our cars, we've got two cars. Oh crap, hold on. Oh, no, I'm looking at it. Sorry, I'll talk about cars in a second. Man, this leg looks worse than before. I don't know what I'm doing. I just can't draw today. Classic Wednesday, am I right? And by Wednesday, I mean I can't even talk. Classic Monday, am I right? Holy shoot balls. Shoulder here. All right. Anyway, I was gonna say before, sorry, as I got distracted still some more. For cars, we've got two cars. My car is not as bad as our other car. So girlfriend's got one car. She needs a new one. But financially, like, well, what if we just kind of swap? And so since I'm not driving around as much, what if we use the it's a Camry. What if we use the Camry as the primary, more so that she drives to work and does all that, right? And so we've been doing that, but then I needed just an oil change on the primary, then the Camry, right? We hate the Firestone we used to go to, right? It was garbage. They effed up real bad. They've been screwing up the one in this area that we moved around. Just sucks. So we said no more. So I had another place that I had found, like more of like not a mom and pop shop, but like a smaller, singular cell phone business, right? And I really vibed with the owner there. He was really nice. The people working there were just really, really kind, right? So I was like, you know what? Next time I get work done, I'm just gonna any sort of oil change, any sort of, like basic tire rotations and stuff like that, right? I was like, I'm just gonna go to this new place. Well, apparently this new place didn't want me to because I tried to contact them two different times. Never heard back. And I said, well, okay, well, that screwed up our schedule because we had planned on switching the cars around, doing this and that, right? So finally I was like, okay, there's a Midas, right? Another chain, whatever. That isn't too far. It's like right between us and in the gym. So I was like, okay, we'll go there. It looks like there's a good subdivision around there, so I can always go for a walk while while I'm waiting. And so all was hunky dory. I was like, it got like really positive reviews, especially for a chain. Like usually you don't see that good of reviews. For a car, an auto shop chain. But anyway, I go make the appointment. I get there at like 2:30, right? The dude there, I'm talking, I make small talk. I like to talk. Who'd have thought? And so I'm talking to the guy. We're just chatting it up about random stuff, right? And I told him, I don't even know what. We just talked a lot. And he's like, all right, well, it'll be done in he's like, so I was literally just getting the oil changed, basically. Oil change, tire rotation, basic stuff, right? Nothing too advanced, right? Real basic. And he's like, all right, it'll be like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go walk around the neighborhood here while you guys work on it and just shoot me a call. And he, asked my number to confirm. I was like, yep, that's good. Just call me at that number. And 45 minutes go by and I'm like, okay. It's still no call, but whatever, no big deal. I'll make my way kind of back to, where it is, right? 45 minutes, I'll make my way back because surely it'll be done sooner than later. An hour passes, still nothing. An hour, right? He said 45 minutes to maybe an hour, as if like it'll be maybe an hour. There's not much getting done. It was an oil change. And like they'll take a peek at the car, like a quick inspection or whatever. And I was like, there's nobody else there though, right? Like it was empty. There was nobody else there. And so I'm like, what the hell is taking so long? Whatever, it is what it is. Stuff takes longer. Who knows? It's, I'm not to judge that. But when you tell me 45 minutes to an hour and now it's pushing an hour and I still have no word from you, I'm like, all right, that's a little sus. But so time continues to pass, right? And now we're looking at an hour and a half. And I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me, right? Hour and a half and still no word from them. At this point, I'd already walked back, right? And so like I'm like creeping, going for like this weird like loop around the actual parking lot area. So it looks like I'm stalking, but I'm just trying to see if maybe the car comes out. Nope. Hour and 45 minutes pass, right? So technically an hour past his low estimate of time. I finally get a call. Dope. Finally, I get a call. And he's like, hey, so we're looking at this, and this. He's like, I saw you need, your rotors are a little low, this and that, given the whole spiel of like things that I could get done. And he's like, and you're looking at like $2,300 for that then today. And I was like, cool, but no, I just came in for, you know, the very specific purpose today. I'll keep it in mind. Thank you. He's like, yeah, but are you sure? Because, you know, if you need to go to work or that, you can, we give out a rental, this, and then I was like, no, I'm good. That was not in the plan for today to do something like that, right? Like I was not anticipating spending that much money and getting that kind of stuff done. And like, that does not vibe with my schedule or significant other schedule. Like that doesn't work. I'm good. And he pushed it like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, dude, I'll be good, please. And I tried to like put it nicely, right? I was like, can we just get it like written up so I can look at what it is exactly, right? Like I'll look at what it is, I'll review it, but I don't want to get stuff done today. Just, you know. So I was like, so can I come get it? And he's like, all right, well, I'll tell the guys to start working on it now. What? To start working on it now? You didn't do the oil change or the tire rotation yet? That's all it was, right? Like, realistically, that should be like, I don't know, 35 minutes. If they can just, you know, no one was there. They could have just popped it in, right? I was like, just starting. I was like, I didn't, like, I was, you know, when you're like, just like, what the, like, thrown off and your brain doesn't even know how to respond. And I was like, okay. And I just was like, okay. And then we hung up and I was like, I got off the phone. I was like, what the, he's just going to get them started on it? Like, what does that even mean? How has it been that long? So I'm creeping, walking again, right? It is like over 2 hours now and still no word from them. It's 2.5 hours pass. And finally, I see one of the guys drive my car up. Like out, you know, out of the shop and in the parking spot. 2.5 hours for what was supposed to be an hour at most. And I'm like, well, my schedule is effed for the day now. Like, that is unbelievably long. And I was like waiting because in case they needed to call, right? I'm like, wasn't going to like, I felt weird like bum rushing in being like, I saw my car's out. Like, I just chilled and I was like, okay, I'll wait like 5 minutes. They'll probably give me a call. I can talk to them about whatever. Nothing. So like 5 minutes pass. And I'm like, okay, F it. I'm just going in. And I go in, different guy entirely there now. And he's like, hey man, can you hold up a little bit? And I was like, sure. And he's on the phone for like another 10 minutes. And keep in mind, this dude is hacking up a lung. Nothing wrong with him. He didn't seem like a rude person, but just like that extra, like, and now you're just, I don't want to get sick. It's like negative degrees outside. I've been walking this whole time waiting. And now you're just hacking up a lung as I'm waiting to get my damn car that's just sitting there, right? Oh my God. So yeah, 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I had to go in there and talk to them to get my car. They'd never even called me. They wouldn't have called me, apparently. And that was just a bummer because I was hoping that they would become a new standard, right? I was like, oh, maybe they can become the place we go. No. I was texting my girlfriend so angry, like, F this, we're definitely not coming back here, no way. Like, at first I was like, well, this isn't a good sign at like hour 1. And then I was like frustrated at 1.5 hours. And then when he called and like super tried to salesman-y energy, I was like, yeah, no, we're done. And then the fact that it took that long still on top of it, I was like, we are never, ever, ever coming back to this location in any way, shape, or form, period. So now we're stuck though without any like good body shop to go to, like an auto store. Like I don't know where to go for my stuff anymore because all of them suck. I don't know. It's rough. And the irony is my grandpa owns a body shop. And like I could drive down there and he knows guys at other shops down by him, but like I don't know. I might need to invest in that travel time because this is stuff around here by us are garbage. So I'd be curious to hear if anybody else has like that same. I feel like so many people. It's such a weird industry, the vehicle stuff, because it's like I don't know enough about cars to do that kind of stuff, right? And so when people tell me things, I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I've learned enough, but like certain things I don't know. And they feel like they just, I don't know. I hate it. I hate that energy. I hate how like I've seen them treat like my females in my family then too, like different places that I've treated my mom, my girlfriend, and stuff like that, where it's like as if it's like, I don't know, just weird energy, man. Weird energy I'm not a fan of. Similar to the weird energy of me sitting here and noodling a drawing that I should be not noodling, but I will noodle with a piece of candy. Inside, the doves normally have like a phrase, right? For the Valentine's one, they're more sweet. So this one says, show someone what they mean to you. Nice. Midas means nothing to me. Mid garbage. Okay, okay. Look at this squirrel girl. Let's boost her size so she actually fits the shape we were originally trying to play with. Okay. After a million hours, we have a passable, at best, picture. Or pose. Not even a picture, just a pose. Just kind of blocking the head enough just so we've got kind of an idea. I feel like it looks a little large for the perspective we're working with, right? It's hard when you're working with a pose like this to realize where center is still, right? So center should be more this way. So I had her, if you noticed, a little further off than it should be. So right here, the breasts didn't really make sense from like how high the one arm is compared to the other arm. So I'm just trying to find like a happy median of like where they would like this one would be higher, right? Her right one would be higher compared to this one here, which would be should be noticeably lower based on the shoulder and the perspective, right? And even though it would make sense to be the other shape, you know, everybody looks at boobs and they go round. Sure, let's make them round, even though realistically that's not what would happen based on that angle. Okay. Let's bend it even more. Too much. That was not on purpose. So I'm not quite liquefying, right? But I'm kind of distorting enough to kind of play with the way this is looking. Just a little bit more, right? I wonder if we make it where you can't see part of her chin, like she's actually, her chest is covering, not chest, but like the, you know what I mean? Like she'd actually be at a weird angle where we don't even see her face entirely. Her own body is blocking perspective wise, you know? It's like the bottom of her chin. Yeah, no, that looks stupid. Just looks fat then. Doesn't look like, I don't know. Oops. Oh my gosh. Touch on this iPad is getting rough. Angle of her head's looking weird. Not quite sure how to remedy this. It's a struggle today, guys. It really is. Should have known it was going. I knew it was going to be when last night when I tried to etch in a couple things, it was a nightmare. So not every day is a success. Sometimes we are all off, right? And that's fine. I feel like I've said that a lot on stream. It's okay to be off. I try and justify all the time because I seem to be off a lot lately. Super lazy right now when I'm trying to redo this. I'm just trying to think of the angle that would make more sense with her jumping with this, right? Okay. Wow. Holy wowie zowie. I'm gonna pull up Marvel Rivals actually, just because I don't like. I'm trying to block in so we have an idea that it is Squirrel Girl, right? But then I don't even know what the hell she looks like. Did it not? Did it not come up? Marvel Rivals. Yes. Come on, Marvel. Do I have the audio off for Rivals, right? iPad browser game is off. Cool. That throws me off. So there's times where I'm going to play a game and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? And I forgot I was streaming and I had turned off the audio entirely. Okay. Honestly, though, as annoying as this pose has been, I think it kind of finally feels kind of ish. I'm trying to simplify. These shapes are getting, like, it's too much going on here, right? So I'm trying to make it smaller and simpler. Don't look at my rank when I go into Marvel Rivals. Nobody look at it. It's embarrassing. Oh, I can skip it. Boom. No one even has. Nobody knows. Nobody needs to know. Where are we looking? Squirrel Girl. I have no skins for you. But she's got, what is this? Headband. Cute little squirrel sidekick. Ears. Huge tail. Thick butt. Half cut bomber jacket with like fur coming out of the forearms. Not really fur, but like that's design of the jacket, right? And then these little bits kind of have like that feeling of toes, right? Like the little how you simplify 3 toes on a cartoon character. Doot, 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 like a little cartoon animal. Okay. So there's Squirrel Girl. That's her energy, I guess. Cool. Perspective and proportions still feel off. So just kind of addressing the arm. Maybe we simplify that shape again. Yeah, I overly detail these shapes for the abs and the stomach. I like to do that, but not really needed. Well, what was that? An hour and a half or something stupid? And this post still doesn't even do it for me, right? I'm still not vibing. But it at least is better than whatever the heck that first iteration was, right? That was bad. Get rid of a lot of these extra lines, and maybe the simplification might look better. Again, I get 2-line happy a lot, so let's... That is a very different energy. It feels almost like she's too lopsided now, though, doesn't it? Eh. Ay, 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 ay. What does her tail look like, right? We've been hee-hawing over this. Holy it's just huge. That's real furry, too. Okay. I like the idea of squirrel tails always, like, curving at the end, though. I don't know why I always picture that as, like, a staple of a squirrel tail. So we're going to do that with hers. Whether it's exactly Marvel Rivals energy or not, that's good enough. And she's got little ears, so we'll just kind of... I'm just blocking in. So we've got an idea now that we've got some shapes here. Oh, it's cute the way her bangs kind of come in. Oops, to the side. Headband. Decent sized ears. What does she got? She's got her pants are pretty high, right? Right up to the navel, kind of. Pants are there, and her jacket, her shirt does expose her midriff, but she's got like 2 layers on, right? We'll simplify probably. What does the jacket look like up top? That's cute. The giant acorns all over too. She got real high socks too. So just like chunks of skin are exposed for her, not like a big mass anywhere. Got some thick, chunky boots. We wouldn't really see the chunky boot there, but we would see the sock cut. I mean, already that looks a lot more like Squirrel Girl with just like these basic little shapes in there for her things. What else do we got? She's got a little necklace. We don't really see the necklace. How does her... Is it... It's like a sports bra with a tank toppy thing over, I guess, kind of. I'm not quite sure what that is. Let's simplify and just be 2 different lines like that. Outfit going up. The jacket would be... kind of like that, maybe? This is a big flap. And she's jumping, right? Well, I guess. Thank you. I mean, it's been a long time. I don't know how long you've been here, but I've been struggling. Been doing 1,000 different things. Nothing looked right. And it still doesn't look right. But it's definitely better. And she's got like a cute, playful energy now. I can look at the other ones, I guess. So the whole thing was me just getting distracted, trying to go through how to fix these broken poses. So this is actually what that pose started as from last night. And that's what it became. Much better, I think. Much more playful. Yeah, you saw the start and now you see. Yeah, I was worried too because it looked like doo-doo. I told you last night. I don't know. I just couldn't. My brain was not braining. But then now, here we go. She looks a lot more natural and cute. just for sake of conversation, these are the other ones. So this was another one that I had where she's kind of like similar to this one or this one, right? These two are pretty similar in that she's just like diving forward. Yeah, I want her to be like playful. That's like her energy is just super cute and playful. This one I wanted her almost like aggressive diving in, and I was playing with that idea more. And then I did it more of like a traditional archer look where she's like stretched back, and I did like that. So this is the one I had originally planned on doing today. Was this. This was the pose that I was actually kind of okay with. And I might still do another one with her like that later. But I was so determined to get that other one fixed. So this pose was the one that I'd planned on being like, oh, I'll just start today doing this one. Touching it up, but like basically playing off of this, right? Elegant, still with her legs and her feet, still playful. Still very feminine with the shape, very bottom heavy like she is. And then pulling the, the slingshot. But since we've worked on this stupid thing for so long now, I guess this is the one we're doing. We've noodled it to the point of it's become the primary drawing. Boop. If we're going to start working on it, though, I want to kind of get the size and framing just right for what I want. Now that looks like it could still rotate. I can't tell if it looks like she should be like really leaning in and her body's upright or if she's arching back. I kind of actually like where she's like a little deeper, a little less deep, I mean, like, so it's like more of like that. I don't know. Maybe we just keep it with that angle and we'll keep it. Drop her down to fit in frame a little better though. And then I'll crop off the top and bottom when I'm done, obviously. Can't really fit much better than this. Otherwise, her tail's going to get lost. Her foot's going to get lost. Yeah. It's about as big as I can squeeze it. I wanted to put her little baby squirrel in there too somewhere, but maybe another time. Maybe with that other one that I do. If I do this one, you can have the squirrel like up on the top right. I think that'll look cute. Okay. Now that we've got an idea of her outfit, I want to kind of start chunking it in. Not drawing anything, finally. Just trying to think of how her face is going to look. You got that buck tooth always, so I feel like you kind of need to show that off to an extent with whatever we draw. Huge eraser we've got today. I don't know why I have it so large. I've set to. She's got actually a pretty thick nose. I keep drawing like this thin, dainty one, but okay. I don't know why I need to immediately went to her face. Just because sometimes having a little bit of the face helps you connect better. So when I just take a peek at it, I'm like, okay. Even if I change the face drastically later, just to at least have something in while I'm blocking in, that helps me. Like if she's jumping her like, I don't know what these would be called necessarily, because it's like their bangs. They're like sideburns, sideburn bangs, side bangs, burn banging, bang burns. You know, I'm great with names. You got freckles all over, right? Yeah. Does she have big eyebrows? Pretty thin eyebrows, actually, right? We don't really see ears at all, right? We kind of do where the headband cuts in, so we can kind of have like a little headband. Her thingies that we don't know the name of. Her sideburn, cheekburn thingies with an illusion of an ear right there, maybe. I can keep the black here is where the headband is, maybe. Made her cross out for a second. That looks creepy when I do that. No, thank you. Leave them wide. Again, we're just blocking stuff in. I'm not super sold on any of these shapes or looks right now. Her eyes look humongous now that I'm looking at it. Why did I draw her eyes so large? Also, that eye looks still jank. I don't like it. Her eye feels too low. For some reason. Don't mind my guidelines. My guidelines I didn't abide by for the face this time. I don't know what I was doing. I just kind of was slapping stuff in. I was slapping to base. I don't really get what to do with these, like, tufts in the front here. Just leave them something like that. Kind of looks cute, doesn't it? I feel like the foreground one needs to, or the back, like back here, I kind of need to just keep it more simple. Like that, maybe. This curviness is weird, though. This doesn't read great. Do a big curve then like that. Yeah, Oracle Power noted that they were nervous when they saw the first iteration of this, and I don't blame them. I do not blame them. And that's kind of what happens a lot of times. Like, I don't know. I feel like we see so many drawings where people are like on Instagram, on whatever social media, where it's like, look, it looks perfect. It's done. It didn't start like that. Yes, some people are really good at starting out really, you know, like, but like there's a lot of mistakes that you don't see before you get to that final, like, oh, this looks right. And don't worry, you see plenty of the mistakes here. Ain't no hiding them here, even if I wanted. So she's got like, I don't know what this strap, where it would live, because it kind of goes above the top of her breast, but then that would cut into, so unless we make the tank part really short here, and then like this part maybe wraps. That goes up, but then this is where the jacket is, right? The jacket would curve kind of along the shape there of the chest, right? This is like a buckle, right? Some sort of belt, so we can kind of block in that it looks belt-ish going up there. I'm assuming it holds something on her back, maybe, would be the logic that we just don't see. So we've got this like pattern here. It's just like a general stripe down her shirt, but it helps sell the curves better, that we can kind of show the look of everything by accentuating the shapes. It's just gonna be a single tank top. This like dual. Maybe that second layer looks kind of good. Actually, we'll see. Just a little bit of belly button. Just a peek. Her belt buckle is even an acorn. That's hella cute. I didn't really pay attention to the design there. That's good. Little acorn. All right. Well, we barely did much this stream. This is a late Monday stream if I've ever seen one. It's time for chocolate. Okay. Gotta salvage. Gotta make sure we've got something somewhat presentable. Let's block in this little. I absolutely love this belt buckle. Such a cute one. 100% have to include this. Adorable. Simplifying here, her belt's got a lot going on. But if we draw or like her pants in general have a lot going on, right? But if we start doing everything, that's going to look real ugly real quick. So I need to figure out like which parts I can simplify, which parts of the buckle, which part of the belt, you know, which part of the actual pant here. Because like I said, there's a lot of detail in her model here. And I want to make sure we still show some of it, but also not really. Not too much of it. But how, like, sometimes alluding to that detail is difficult, but also very important. So I'm trying to just see, like, show a little bit of the pant going above the buckle here. Maybe we'll stick it out just so it feels separate from the waist here. So the belly comes in, the pant sticks out, the the belt sticks out that way then. So it feels like they're separate based on how they're oriented in space, right? It's like a jut. Ooh. They jut out in different ways. Not gonna even, I mean, maybe we do one. We'll do one of these. The belt loops. Just to make sure it makes sense that the pants are holding on to them somehow. But again, drawing too many of these belt loops, I'm gonna simplify them with just like these little lines for now. They're more detailed in the model, but again, gotta ride a fine line. My brain is already just trying to block in kind of the the heavier lines like I do, you know, my thicker shadows and stuff. I don't know if that's good or bad in this instance, but we need to draw her jacket. Her jacket ends pretty high. I wonder if we draw the other side of the jacket, that'll help us understand the shape better first. But first things first, this belt buckle is a little too large for the perspective we see it in. So let's, as we do, we cut the middle, kind of shrink it down a little bit. Kind of losing the acorn nature of it, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll still kind of sell. Kind of looks like a weird boob with a nipple there. That's fine. Boob. What's the difference? A boob or an acorn? You know, same thing, right? Okay. And then she's got these big old pouches. So we'll do 2 of them. So I blocked them in right here, and I kind of like those 2 block-ins. Generally, not exactly, but like, so we can have, since we did 1 belt loop on the pant, we'll do 1 more here. And then it'll be the pouch. How does the, I guess my brain doesn't understand how pouch works. Okay. So it goes like behind and in front of the belt then. So if we draw the rest of the belt, just so we've got an idea of where this would lie on her hips. Belt. And then do we break the pant maybe up here? Does that look good? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll break the pant line to make these pouches look real big. Respect it. Respect the pouch. Old commercial. Don't worry about it. They have like a little pattern on them, right? Like a little, it's just a diamond on the tip. Yep, just a diamond. I'm not going to draw the straps, I don't think. Because again, that'll get distracting. Like too many pieces. Feels really long though. And I feel like they're supposed to look chunky. And instead, by making it break the bounds on top, I think that was a bad call. Just because it makes it look longer and I want it to look chunkier. So let's just shrink the whole thing. And by that logic, let's make the belt just a little bit thinner so that it can give space for the rest of the pouch. I feel like it does not have a lot of space to hold anything in them, but that's okay. That's not my problem. She'll figure out. So a chunky pouch. We got another little chunky pouch maybe to throw in. Do we got space? I think so. One more. And it'll be sideways though, this one then. Because it'll be going up like her butt curve. And there is a pattern on the belt. I don't know if we need to super... We kind of have to show that though. I like the idea of having this pattern. Otherwise it feels boring, this belt. It's just like the braided. Like woven, I'm sorry, not braided. Like a woven pattern kind of. So it's just like... basic weave. I'm not gonna do too much. Easy. And then we'll do another pouch here, like we said. It'll be folding up. So maybe this pouch will look like it's almost opening then. Gotta keep them the same size generally though, so I gotta be careful not to make this one too big. Pouch looks a little weird. I wonder if we need to come at it from a different angle, like up here. Looks a little fat. I wonder if we just kind of separate it a little bit from the other one, so it's up here. Meh, that works. Feels like it's a little too open, maybe. I think that's part of the problem I'm having too. Let's just cut it a little bit then. Okay, it's like a cute, playful little pouch. Like that makes sense what it's doing, right? Kind of flopping around. And now her pants have this fur, but her pants themselves, the shorts, they're just pretty basic, right? So we don't need to do too much here. We can just kind of block in what I already had for the line work, right? Excuse me. And then her crotch, kind of. The belt's kind of thrown off where the crotch should be, the orientation of this belt. So I wonder if we rotate the belt a little and distort it just a smidge. That'll help us be able to place the belt in place. There we go. That's better. So that the crotch can kind of fold here, like the right along now, right in the center of that, and it can go right underneath the way we want it, right? Cool. Keeping this super etchy, super duper. It's looking a little more like, I don't want to say, the crotch is a little looking, little bulgier than I wanted it, I guess, is all. That helps, I think. And so really the fur here, not quite sure how I want to draw the fur. Like what kind of, like if we want to do giant clumps or just a few little allusions to it. I don't know. We'll play with this a little bit here and there, I'm sure. I'll monkey with it back and forth what the fur is gonna look like. I don't know if I want to do it this way. I might simplify it in even bigger clumps. I feel like it's sticking out a little bit too much too for. Yeah, that's too much detail. Way too much detail for what we're drawing here. We'll simplify the pants in a second, the fur. Not too much later though, because we are running out of time. But it is already 2:30. Yeah, I'll do just a little bit more. Maybe we'll. We got the pant leg is folding here, right? And then her butt sticking. Accentuate the butt a little bit since it does have pants on too. So. And by pants, I mean just like so obviously there's material over the skin is all I mean. So let's draw the jacket real quick, I guess. So the fur goes all the way to the, okay. That looks weird to me. Something about this jacket's not vibing. Let's try again. I don't know. Something about her. Why am I blinking on this? I like it breaking a lot of the line of sight for the background here, like for her arm. And then it would just be a lot of fur, right? We don't really have to worry about what's in there. It's just gonna be, oh, Jesus, huge. Just fur. But again, to allude to it, I don't know if we would do too much or just kind of, you know, something like this. The really generic, like, hey, look, it's fur energy. Especially if I'm not coloring this too much right now. Yeah, still not feeling with the jacket. Anyway, we can play with the jacket down here maybe. See if that helps. I do not know what I'm looking at with my sketch though. It was one of those messy ones where I over sketched it. I think I had it kind of like flopping up, right? The top part. Did I have both of it? That was way too big of a jacket then. Still has the same pattern, right? Where it's like the outline. I don't know what these are. I guess that's like to extra buckle it, I guess. Don't know. But they're extra little doodads to have flying off. Everybody loves a good doodad. So the curvature didn't make sense the way I had it, so I'm reassessing it and actually having it curve inward like this instead. Then we can maybe have the bottom look a little different. Accentuate the chest even more, then have it folding out. Maybe have negative space so we can see that her hips are there. I don't think this is reading as buck teeth right now, but oh my god, this eraser. That's kind of creepy. I drew the bottom lip. I'm wondering if I need to draw the top lip for it to make sense. That looks weird. I don't know what I'm doing there. I mean, that kind of reads as buck teeth now. Kind of. I don't know. Okay. Where is... So if this is where the jacket kind of folds in, right? And I made the eraser itty bitty. Yeah, the jacket's still looking weird. I don't like it. Kind of made her squirrel ears look like pig ears, I feel like. Pig girl, squirrel girl. Same energy, right? Or not? Okay, well, this has been a weird stream. I apologize. It's been a long one, and I feel like very unactive stream. Yeah, hopefully Wednesday's a little better. Tuesday's gonna be a weird day. Oh, well, looks like my hard drive's full. That's it. Be kind, kick butt.